You are listening to the Body Charge podcast, and I'm your host, Sandy Sanderson. We've seen an exponential rise in recent years in the use of hemp products like cannabidiol, CBD, as a natural health supplement, most commonly for pain relief, but also as an adjunct to cancer treatment and immune system disorders, which are notorious for producing pain. This has opened the gate to a proliferation of suppliers of cannabis products with a variety of strengths and quality standards. But how can people sift and sort through so much choice to find the products most appropriate for their needs? Today's guest is Inesa Ponomariovaite. I hope I pronounced that all right, did I? Very
You
good.
really did, actually.
I practiced a little bit. So she's the founder and CEO of Inesa's Hemp. A lifetime of disappointment in pharmaceuticals led Inesa to become a holistic health professional. Her expertise in restoring the body to homeostasis, where all systems function at their optimal best, and as she has a lot to share about choosing the right cannabis product to suit your needs, I'm really fascinated to find out more, because it is a little bit daunting. On the shelves now, you can get a lot of different cannabis products. We do shows and expos because, we supply transdermal magnesium products through Elektra Magnesium. And invariably at every show, there are always 2 or 3 suppliers of different CBD type products. And they've graded them in different grades and, for different uses. And it gets a bit complicated for people. So I'm really interested, first of all, in your personal journey, Inesa, and what led you to specialize in this area as a preferred supplement. What's your story? How did you get here?
How did I get here? Yeah, thank you so much for allowing me to share my story, and the most exciting part to really educate people on the essentials of hemp to their body, because most people are misguided. So, but the story started, like all of us have certain story in our lives, right? And mine, I guess, wasn't too much different. I was just really suffering and struggling with a lot of health conditions. And when I came in the United States, because I was going through a lot of stress and abuse and multiple other things, lots of pain, that stress led me to actually more health conditions, triggered me to the point where I was really in the hospital every couple of weeks and emergency room. So, but I was taught since the young age that I have to go see the doctor, take the pill, and I've been loaded my body with antibiotics since as long as I remember 13, 14, I started. So with that being said, I looked back when I was really miserable, I would say dying. And I said, what I'm doing wrong? I'm here in the United States. I started my life in Lithuania, but now I'm in the best country in the world, and I have these best doctors, and I'm loaded with pills. And instead things getting better, they actually getting worse over the years. And I really kind of decided to not to trust, or not even not to trust, but just take a different path. And I just changed my lifestyle, my diet, and all those things actually, surprisingly, led me to actually a lot of improvement. And that little tiny improvement, when you're so sick and there's no hope for you, it was such a beautiful thing. So you kind of want to do more of it. And that's what I did. I just went pretty deep in my juicing and changing my lifestyle and alcohol intake. In fact, I cut off alcohol completely. So long story short is, I just changed my lifestyle, and I was able to completely reverse all my health conditions within a full year of my changing the lifestyle. So with that being said, that wasn't a reason why I started cannabis, but that was kind of a planting the seeds towards the cannabis. So
the hemp seeds.
Yeah, the hemp seeds, exactly. Oh gosh, those are my favorites.
Actually, hemp seed oil is contained in many of our magnesium cream moisturizers because it's just so beautiful for the skin. Of course, we get hundreds of different plant chemicals, plant phytonutrients that help give us life force. And cannabis is particularly one plant that offers so much, and it's so rich in the diversity of the nutrients it provides. So I think most people are used to, oh, well, the THC and that, you know, inflames the brain and makes you go crazy or whatever, or you just, you know, dip out, become a bit loopy, and all sorts of reactions people can get. And of course, people have genetic predispositions to sensitivities as well. So some have to be really, really cautious, because you don't know where you're getting the product from and the source. And, you know, what if there are contaminations, or what if there's too much? What if they bred it? And, you know, this is what I read, that street cannabis has been bred to become more addictive, to have a higher THC for a bigger hit. So what do you have to say about that?
I mean, thank you for sharing. I was, as you were like saying things, I was almost shaking my head. I'm like, that's
I
not
know,
real.
I could see you. So what did I say that wasn't right? I mean, you're the expert here. I'm asking questions.
Yeah, it's the saddest part is you just like everyone else, truly. You do understand the brighter side, but everyone is misguided to such a massive scale. When I investigated, so first of all, I had to help my mom to overcome cancer. That was years ago, and she's alive, and I helped thousands of other people to be healthy. All of them are alive today. So that gives me some kind of type of knowledge to understand what it really takes for a human body to heal, starting with my own 10-20 years ago, I mean 15 years ago. So with that being said, then I really, first of all, I really want to create the basics here. Number one, this plant is essential to you. And when I say essential, if you live in a country or state where this plant is illegal, I can tell you your government is at this very moment is actually submitting a crime against humanity. And I'm going to explain you why and how. Number one is when you're born, you produce what's called endocannabinoids. I mean, those cannabinoids. Those cannabinoids are almost the same, identical the same, it depends which hemp plant we're gonna get there. They're almost the same as in the hemp plant. So people say, Inesa, you're trying to tell me that I actually have exact same cannabinoids as the hemp plant? It's like, yes, you do. And those cannabinoids are actually responsible to regulate and control your entire body. I'm not talking about just inflammation or your vision or your spleen or your ovaries or your prostate. I'm talking about the whole hundreds and thousands of systems. By one system, it's just like one main guy controls many, many systems in your body. So when you're young and beautiful and strong, you have a high, strong production of those cannabinoids in your own body. But then you're exposed to goodies such as chemtrails, water, toxins, stress, oxidative stress, metals, all those things. And then that's the moment when you start
blocked. Yeah,
losing it. You can't produce it anymore as much as you used to. So now you're deficient. What do you do when you're deficient of air, water, and food? You want to inhale, you want to eat, you want to drink. So that's all what you need to do with these cannabinoids. You have to get those in your body in order to be balanced. If you're not going to make that happen, you're going to have a symptom such as a brain disorder. You're going to go see the doctor. He's going to give you a pill that's going to lead you to suicidal eventually. Not all of them, most of them. I mean, sadly, but that's the reality. And all what we need to do is just empower that main organism, that main system that is regulating, including central nervous system. Just imagine how powerful it is.
So tell us more about what the endocannabinoids do for the nervous system, because it's the central system that controls everything. So does it work with the vagus nerve, for instance? Because I know stress causes a lot of disruption in the digestive system. So your vagus nerve runs from, you know, when you ingest food, from your throat all the way down to the bowel. It incorporates the stomach and all the digestive organs. And when you feel stressed, everything tightens up and it's not working very well. So we know that relaxation helps a lot. And so I've learned this through my deep dive into magnesium. By the way, magnesium is a big component of cannabis. And that's part of the relaxation effect, as well as the magnesium, which helps muscles to relax. but it provides a lot more phytonutrients, and I'm really fascinated to understand a bit more about the whole endocannabinoid system, what it's meant to do in the body. We know that metals and toxins and chemicals can block and disrupt, just like they can block and disrupt the activity of magnesium as well. All the good things in your body can just block everything up, cause a big traffic jam. And then you have a pileup of toxins, waste not being eliminated or neutralized. And so that causes, we decay faster, we age more prematurely, the brain becomes distressed, we have chronic anxiety, the adrenaline is pumping way too much. We kind of disintegrate faster when we can't get off that treadmill of hyper stress. So how does the endocannabinoid system help us rebalance again in your research and study? How does it work?
It's $1 billion question. Because there's no answer to this, and I'm going to explain you why. That's actually one of the reasons why I'm on this podcast today, and that's one of the reasons why I'm pushing this topic so hard. We need to understand something, what happened here. All the science, all the research was done on CBD. CBD is not even in the plant. There is no CBD in the hemp plant. So how the real cannabis, or not even cannabis, by the way, cannabis, as you mentioned, never existed in the mother nature. That's 100% engineered. Cannabis is not even a part of our actual structure. It's a 100% engineered plant. So the hemp plant is the natural version and original version that we had in a history for tens of thousands of years, and the one actually Jesus was using to feed and people and heal people. He wasn't using some extraction CBDs and creating some epidemic drug and things like that. So what's really bothering me today, that exactly what you just asked me, we really don't know the answers, because all the science been done on the drug at this very moment, because CBD.
You mean the isolate, the elements that they pulled out of the whole plant? When you're referring to drug, you mean that the element that's been isolated from hemp, which we call CBD. Is that correct?
Kind of, yes. So what happened is, first of all, if you take number one, hemp plant, and let's forget about cannabis, because cannabis is not, again, it's engineered, never existed, so I never bothered to even talk about cannabis. So the hemp plant is something what we had for thousands of years, something what our body mimics. Hemp plant also has multiple uses. One of the uses you can use as soil cleaner. In order to grow this hemp for medicinal purposes, you gotta be extra careful, because it does suck just like a sponge, every toxin from the soil, from the air and water. So now it's literally the best soil cleaner on the earth. If you want to have the purest soil, you just plant your hemp, and it's gonna clean everything, and all the toxins will be in the hemp. But now this plant will be loaded with these toxins.
You can't eat that one.
You cannot. For medicinal purposes, you gotta grow hemp completely in very
virgin soil.
Absolutely, that's exactly what we do with Nestle's hemp. But so if you take the original hemp plant that was grown clean and safe, and if you study the chemistry, there is no CBD. There's only CBDA, there's a CBGA, there's all THCA, by the way, there's THC, there's no THC also, is a THCA, which just doesn't make you any high and is not meant to inflame you or cause you, lose your brain, kind of type of side effect. So if you study the chemistry, but the problem is this chemistry, which is the plant chemistry, that is actually now science finally forced to take a look because of the COVID, and I'll share that in a minute. What's happening here? that is original version. That is something you can patent, you can own. It belongs to the people, should be in the grocery stores. It belongs to your body can live without. That's the original version. Now what happens, Food and Drug Administration comes to this industry and says, oh my gosh, these people are so smart, they figured out how to have a cannabis in their life or hemp plant, and we gotta figure out how we're gonna control the industry. So what they did, they actually took the original plant and re-isolated and actually extracted in such ways where CBDA became a CBD, which is a second version of the plant.
Wow.
And it became officially as a drug, patented by Food and Drug Administration here in the United States. I mean, I guess it's all over the world now. So now it's about to become controlled substance. And everybody think how the FDA was able, and the Food and Drug Administration, to control the plant, because they never had a plant in the first place.
And it wasn't natural. That's why they could patent it.
Exactly. And the studies were done also and on this not natural compound. It's like almost doing the study on the Valium or the Ambien or the drugs that puts you to sleep. So when you ask me a question, how exactly it works on the endocannabinoid system, I don't want to share the science based on the pharmaceutical agenda. I just can tell you this, that they doing whatever it takes, make sure people don't know nothing about CBDA, because CBDA, now that science showing finally, because we're putting some spotlight eventually on the CBDA, it's finally kicking in, and it's hard to hide because of COVID news. COVID came out and saying, wait a minute, CBDA and CBGA can actually protect you from getting COVID. Can you imagine how was it big of the news?
Yeah, a lot was suppressed. There are many roads up the same mountain, and a lot of good remedies have been suppressed. Unfortunately, it's very sad. Yes, I understand that this is largely commercially driven, and it reminds me of what they did to the milk industry. So that's why so many people are allergic to milk that you buy in the supermarket, but not necessarily the raw milk from the organic farmer. And so we have this happening in many areas of our food supply, and people are wondering why are they getting so sick? And they're eating, they think, a good diet, but it's kind of all corrupted and tainted now, isn't it?
Yep, that's why we talk about this, and that's why we share the knowledge, and we tell people all the time, when you take CBD, you take a drug that is loaded with toxins because there's no regulations to control that substance. And also laboratories don't produce a clean data to show you exactly what's in the product. When you call the laboratory to place your lab reports on a product, they don't say, hey, which lab report you want to get? They say, what numbers do you want us to put on your lab reports? What data you want us to put? So this is how the labs work. They don't even get to the point, like they don't even fake it to be a virgin. They just tell you, I'm not a virgin, let's have sex. Excuse me, but that's the reality. It's just it's so bad. And I'm not talking about 2 labs in America. I'm talking about 98% of them faking the data. It's only a few percent of laboratories in America that truly reports what's in these products. And those companies are, they just leave this because they have thousands of these products. So now if lab reports speaks the truth, that means they can't sell it. So they go to find another lab that's going to actually hide these lab reports and produce something nice and clean for the customer eye. And the person is right now taking completely deadly products. Deadly. So that's what I said. When people say, oh, CBD is giving me a side effect, most likely one of aspergillus or one of the metals or the mold probably is giving the side effect. It's not the hemp. It's because original hemp, original compounds that God gave us, it's actually matching our system, and our bodies can't live without. It's almost like having allergic reaction from breathing clean air. The only one time you're going to have allergic reaction is when you're going to breathe the gas or something that's not supposed to be in that air. So it's a poison air. So when you have a poison CBD, that's why you have these side effects.
It's like we need water every day constantly, but if you have a contamination or a poison in the water, that's not good for your health. So everything comes down to the level of pollution in our environment, isn't it? So tell me more about how you've been able to work out a way around this problem with the type of hemp grown in a clean soil, grown the natural way, and used as a holistic plant in its whole form, not corrupted. How does your system work with Nessa's hemp?
It was painful. It's still painful. It's been years since it's been painful.
It's not supposed to be painful. It's hemp, right?
I know. It's just doing the right thing. It's very painful. It's extremely, you have to, every time I'm going through pain, I'm like, why I'm doing this again? And then I remind myself, if I'm not going to do it, there'll be not single one person who's going to care so much to change the humanity and leave some legacy for us.
If it has to be, it's up to me, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, our soil is biological soil, so that's the number one. So I was trying to match exactly what we had 2000 years ago. So I had to do certain things that I can't disclose on this call. But we did develop the most biological soil in the United States. And when we harvest our plants, they're still living. They're dancing in the room. And funny, because I just had to, my housekeeper, she had to come in my manufacturer another day, and she saw me actually playing with the hemp. It's like, oh my gosh, these plants are really living. It's like, yep. And they're living. I said, they've been harvested for a while now. They're still alive. And so
did you find a good lab that was able to do the correct testing so that you understood exactly what was in your product?
Yes, and actually I did find a lab. It's called ACS Laboratories. They are FDA certified, and they also multi-awarded laboratory. They, no matter how much money you're gonna put on the table, million, billion, they're not gonna sell their soul. They're gonna show you exactly what's in anyone's products, including my own. So that's why I decided to work with them for long term, because I know they truly care about people. So our labs, any bottle that Nessa's produced and goes on the market, any bottle that's on the market, any person that grabs that bottle and purchase, we do have a lab report. So you take your bottle, you look actually on the bottom, you have a batch number, and this batch number is officially on our website. So you type in your batch number, and we pull thousands of lab reports on that one bottle to prove in parts per billion there's nothing possibly can even close to be dangerous in that bottle for you. So as a result, yeah, that we have it. And of course we are CBDA based product. We're not CBD based product, and that's why when people don't experience good results with CBD or even cannabis high THC levels, they say, Inesa, these products don't help. I tried hundreds of them. They take hours, and 5 days later we have the best review ever.
Oh, fantastic. And are there any contraindications if people have to take medications? Do people, so it can't be dangerous, but sometimes it can interfere, or no?
I never seen, and I work with beyond critical cases where people have 6 hours left to live, and they're like on morphium, and they're just on, I'm talking about high mega dose of kinds of medications. I always see nothing but the most positive results. And actually we got off people off the pills because of Nessa's hemp. So no, it's simply, in my opinion, I'm not talking about any other products that are loaded with toxins and multiple other things. In my opinion, with our products, it's impossible to have any kind of type of side effect unless you have lots of bacteria in your gut. So you might go lots of in the bathroom and flush it out and say, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
I'm on there.
Yeah, a bit of a Herxheimer or detox reaction. And I guess if people have an illness of some kind where they have a practitioner already, that it's good to have someone like coach and supervise you as well with these kinds of processes, especially with detoxing. And so are your products available to other practitioners around the world internationally?
Not around the world yet, because we do ship the products for everybody. But the problem is sometimes your customs or different country customs holds back, and we don't want to be responsible, because we will promise you to ship it. Your country makes the decision for you. So that's why we kind of trying not to focus on the different countries, United States only. unless somebody, I had cases in Europe, actually European people, I do have a way to ship them. It's more like personally approach, but it can be approached through the website. You just have to contact us through the customer service.
Yeah, so that leads me to the next point. I'm sure a lot of people will be interested to find out more and have a look at your reports and the lab results. Where should they go to find out more?
The best way is to go on the Nesa's Hemp, Nesas, nesashemp.com, and yeah, we have a great customer support. So even if you're detoxing, even if you have cancer, whatever you have, whatever the questions you have, it will be answered. And maybe not immediately, because if it's weekend, but during the business hours, you're gonna get responses.
Yeah. And does this also include people who have a lot of digestive problems that find it hard to even digest good food? Their system is maybe slow or sluggish, built up a lot of toxic waste. Can they still absorb enough to help them get over the line?
Absolutely. And the best way actually to also, if you, so your large intestine, your small intestine is loaded, I would say take also extra dose of Nesas and put in a belly button at nighttime. Put like a couple drops in a belly button, and you will see you're gonna start flushing out.
So you can absorb it transdermally as well.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic.
I use it for my face. That's
Oh,
how my wrinkles.
and you look beautiful.
Thank you.
Well, it's been really lovely to interview you. I know we had to cram a lot into a short space of time, so perhaps in the future we can dive into a little bit more detail. But thank you so much for being my guest. And if there's any one last thing you want to say, please go ahead.
Just be in charge of your health and don't allow others to tell you how to take care of your body, because you're the only one who's in control. And yeah, before you make a decision, make sure you get multiple diagnoses, because most people, when they get cancer, they get scared and terrified. And a lot of times 50% of cancer diagnosis is actually misdiagnosis. So a lot of times people don't even have a cancer when they're diagnosed with cancer. So just be brave, be wise, and be in charge for your own health.
Yeah, my mother went through that just recently, and I kept thinking, was there something I missed? Was there something else I could have done? And while you were talking, I'm thinking, damn, she passed away in September. But I'm thinking, if I only had have known earlier, because she was already of the frame of mind, oh, well, who cares? If I'm going, I'm going. I may as well try something different. And her fear just went away. But I guess it was just a little bit too little too late. So my recommendation for people is don't leave it to the last minute.
I'm so sorry, but
We've got to go. Yeah, I know.
Presentation for 26 people at this very moment.
Okay, all the best, and talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
I hope you liked this conversation and will share it with others. Let me know what you thought about it in the comments below. If you want to listen to other Body Charge conversations, click like, subscribe, the bell icon, and click all notifications. Subscribe to our newsletter to get updates on blogs, podcasts, videos, and magnesium special offers at electramagnesium.com.au. Relax, recharge, and recover.